Hey guys, welcome back. In this video I'm going to be propagating some plants, and this is actually part 2, so if you haven't, go check out part 1. But this is my Paraiso Verde. It has gotten gigantic. There's actually 2 plants in this pot. I typically put it out over the summer, and when I put it out, it makes these spots, variegated leaves, which I really like. Apparently the heat is what causes the variegation, but once it's inside over the winter, you start growing green leaves. My leaves have been sizing up pretty well. So here you can see there's some dots, red spots, as well as some water droplets. It looks like it's part of the plant's natural defense. Apparently it attracts ants. I've never had ants in my place, but if it's outside it can attract ants. But they're beneficial to the plant. It keeps it pest free. And here I'm showing where I'm going to be cutting beneath where these roots are popping out. You also can kind of see the little nubs. That's the base of the plant. The wooden part was the original plant I put out over the summer. It died, but it came back. And these are the glasses I'm using. I'm recycling. So you've probably seen me use some of these in other videos. So the next 4 I'm showing are ideal. The first one was a mason jar, and they're really not ideal to be planting stuff in. But you can see the taper up, what I mentioned, is good for plants. You don't want it to taper down because then the roots will get stuck. So here I'm just adding leca. Again, I add 1/3, and then the rest of it's going to be moss. I'm going to go ahead and add leca to everything, and then come back and add my base layer of moss, and then add my cuttings. I actually wish that I did more cuttings of this plant. I didn't realize it, but this is my 2nd year having this plant, and I grew this from a 1-leaf node cutting. Apparently the leaves that form outside over the summer are more hardy, so once I put it back outside for this summer, those leaves survived, but the ones that grew inside over the winter died. And so I wish I'd cut all the winter grown ones and made propagations to save or make more plants. But it's okay, there's still 2 plants in this pot. I plan on keeping one of the propagations and gifting the rest to family. And here you can see I got 2/3 filled, or 1/3 filled.
Everything feels right. I find the magic soft and free. In these sweet moments, just being me. The counter fades a peaceful hum. The world slows down and I just become lost in the rhythm of a quiet day, where every small thing lights the way. A cup of coffee, sugar falls in. I stir it slowly.
Here I'm just making sure there's enough leca. You want to make sure you have a decent water reservoir, so you're not constantly filling this up with water. And now I'm gonna go in with my moss, just a light layer. And again, you don't want to add too much moss to these propagations because you don't want to rot anything. You just want it to have enough humidity for the roots to start forming and then growing down. And then you're gonna want to repot them once you start seeing roots.
A quiet laugh, the softest breeze, the world's at peace in moments like these. I sip my coffee, feel the warmth inside, letting the day just gently glide.
Also, something that I've noticed, and hopefully someone can tell me if their plant's done similar things, when it's outside and it's warm, I get the spotted variegation. When it's inside, I start to get the striped variegation. Like this plant on the left, you can see the leaves. It's kind of a light green edge and then darker green streaks on the inside. Has anyone else seen that on their plants? Because I've had ones that are solid green, ones that are kind of stripy, and then the spots. I've only seen the spots when I grow it outside. So let me know in the comments below. And here's the base layer. So that's about another third of the cup that I'm gonna go in and take my cuttings. So now I'm taking down this mirror. I do have stakes, but again, this was growing on top of or through a plant rack, and so it's doing a lot of leaning, and I didn't realize how much it was being supported. Also, these are giant leaves, so there's not really a lot of airflow to help strengthen the stems, but outside it should. Also, I've noticed when I grow it outside, the plant's more compact. A lot of people don't like Paraiso Verdes because of how long the nodes are, or the sections are between each node. But if you grow it outside, it'll be a lot shorter and compact. But you can still get giant leaves. And I'm going to be taking 2 top cuttings and then 3 more cuttings. And again, we're going to sterilize your scissors. I'm using isopropyl alcohol, 91%. And there's some plants that I wouldn't recommend repotting or messing with while they're making new leaves. But these in particular, they grow so fast and they root really well, so I don't really worry about taking a cutting while it has a leaf forming. And I'm removing the sheath just to help prevent any rotting. And here you can see the little node. That's where the next leaf is gonna come out. So that's one cutting, and again you can see those red dots. I believe that's where the sap comes out. You can see a little on my finger. And that's a new leaf. Again, it's green and kind of stripy. There's also a red edge. It's a really interesting plant. And the cutting has already started to turn brown, which is okay. You can add hydrogen peroxide to it if you're worried about it getting infected. You could just use clean scissors and sterilize after every cut. I'm going in for my second top cutting. And here you can see those water droplets a lot better. It's already got a new leaf forming. And here is a close-up of that sheath and those red dots. Some of the dots stay on the stem. Sometimes it just comes off with the sheath. And again, you want to cut beneath the node. I'm also going to show you, so I'm taking cuttings pretty close to where those area roots are coming out. However, I'm not going to leave that gigantic stem behind. I'm going to cut part of that off, throw it away, and then make another cutting beneath it. And here you can see that's not the cleanest of cuts, but it'll be okay. You can see those little water droplets. And that's where the roots are going to be coming from. So I've got 2 top cuttings. You can even see some of those red spots on the underside of the leaf. And And this is probably the largest leaf I have right now. It's kind of hectic. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do a 1 leaf cutting or a 2 leaf. And I'd go ahead and do 1 leaf for each of these. And make sure I have 1 node. I'm showing the different points that I could cut. And that red spot is actually a node. And it looks like it's already activated.
Little things that bring a smile to me, like the sugar swirling in my coffee. No rush, no race, just the afternoon light. In the simple joy, everything feels right. I find the magic soft and free. In these sweet moments, just being me. In these sweet moments, life feels new. And all I need is right here too. No rush, no race, just the afternoon glow. In this gentle time, I let everything flow. The world keeps turning, but I stand still, caught in the magic, the quiet thrill. In these sweet moments, I find my place. In the warmth of the sun, with a smile on my face.
And here you can see the different coloration in the stem. It's like a light yellow on the back and then a darker green on the other side. I've noticed that when the stems are stripy or have coloration like that, you can get good variegation from those plants. And this is the leaf that I just cut. So you can see the yellow and green that I was just talking about, or the lime green. And this is the largest leaf that I will be cutting. And again, you can see those droplets. It's very sticky. You might want to wear gloves if you have a plant like this. It doesn't harm you, but it is very sticky and kind of annoying. Yep. Water droplets. And the sap.
Sugar falls in, I stir it slow, let the calm begin. In these quiet hours I feel at ease. Life's little magic in moments like these. I find the magic in the everyday. In the sweetest sips as time slips away. Little things that bring a smile to me, like the sugar swirling in my coffee. No rush, no race, just the afternoon light. In the simple joy, everything feels right. I find the magic soft and free. In these sweet moments, just being me.
And again, you want to be careful not to cut into a node. You want to cut beneath the node. You don't want to cut off where the roots are going to be forming either. So when I cut the top of this, I want to make sure that I don't cut that node off. So there's the node. I'm going to make sure I cut above it, while cutting off as much of that top piece as I can. So there's about 1 inch or 2 left, both above and beneath my cuttings. Again, those goofy sap droppings.
And all I need is right here too. No rush, no race, just the afternoon glow. In this gentle time, I let everything flow. The world keeps turning, but I stand still, caught in the magic, the quiet thrill. In these sweet moments, I find my place. In the warmth of the sun, with a smile on my face.
So I believe I've taken 4 cuttings now. I'm going to take 1 more. I could have taken another 1 or 2. And here you can kind of see where it's going from striped to spotted.
In these quiet hours I feel at ease. Like simple magic in moments like these. I find the magic in the everyday.
Like the leaf the most to the left, it has just a tiny bit of light green stripes. and the stem of it doesn't have much of the light green either, but it is slightly variegated. There's no solid green. They have either stripes or they've got the spots.
The world slows down and I just become lost in the rhythm of a quiet day where every small thing leads the way. A cup of coffee, sugar falls in. I stir it slow, let the calm begin. In these quiet hours I feel at ease. Life's little magic in moments like these. I find the magic in the everyday, in the sweetest sips as time slips away. Little things that bring a smile to me, like the sugar swirling in my coffee.
If you do plant this outside, I recommend keeping it in a pot so you can bring it in over the winter if you have a winter. Also try to have a catch tray beneath it. That way if it rains it can hold on to water and save you some watering. This plant loves water. I have it in the orchid bark mix. Here's the next cut. Now I'm gonna cut some of that off. It's a bit too long on the top. And I did break that a little bit, but again, it's fine. This plant in particular, I've never had any issues with it rotting. In these sweet moments, just being me. In these sweet moments, life feels new, and all I need is right here too. No rush, no race, just the afternoon glow. In this gentle time, I let everything flow. Also want to mention, I've rarely had any of these yellow off and die. I think I might have had one do that, like this entire time that I've owned it. There are some brown spots right here. That's for me leaving it out too long over winter. And I brought it in, and the ones that I brought in time, they were fine, but some of the leaves did experience some damage. But growing inside, they're completely fine. And again, that browning is from leaving it out over winter. I really like the spotted look. And again, there's 2 plants in here. I plan on putting about 2 more. I want it to be as bushy as possible, and that's why I'm putting it outside. And I'm not really worried about those leaves that did die, that grew over the winter, because I want it to be shorter and bushier. And those stems, it goes from being about 1 inch apart to about 4 or 5 inches apart the longer it gets. And here I'm trying to see if I have enough moss to stand it up. You don't want too much moss, just enough. And I'm putting my larger cuttings in this triangle shaped glass. And when you take cuttings like this, you want to give them bright light, but not as much light as you gave the original plant, because it's focusing more on creating roots than growing a new leaf, even though it's going to do both at the same time. But you want to give it decent lighting, but not too bright. You also want to make sure that the moss stays moist but not too damp. So just make sure that the water reservoir has water in it. I also wanted to mention that the way that I take care of these plants, I'm potting it up in something right now to propagate it, but I won't be growing it in long term. I'm gonna switch back to the orchid bark, but when I do, I'm gonna mix some of the moss in with it to help it transition. I apologize for this going out of focus. It will focus back in a second. But with the moss and the leca and the no drainage system, it's okay for the water to run out. You just don't want the moss to dry up completely. So sometimes I'll wait for the water to dry out completely in the bottom reservoir, but not the moss. And that's when I'll water. If it's something that's prone to rotting, if it loves moisture, then I'll always make sure that the reservoir is halfway full. Like even if I watered it yesterday and it drops down, I'm gonna add more water the next day.
Sugar falls in, I stir it slow, let the calm begin. In these quiet hours, I feel at ease, like simple magic in moments like these.
And with these cuttings, I am potting them up immediately. I'm not letting them callus over or dry at all, because again, this plant loves water, so I'm not worried about it rotting. So I got 2 done, 2 more to go.
Just being me. The counting fades a peaceful hum. The world slows down and I just become lost in the rhythm of a quiet day where every small thing lights the way.
So even if you do stuff like this outside, I'd recommend having a board or something beneath your work area. That way it helps you reduce waste. I pick up a lot of my leca or moss and I use it. There's no point throwing it away. It's just a waste of product at that point. So I don't have this issue with the top cuttings, but these other cuttings, you want to make sure to leave the top of the 2 cuts above the moss. So I'm going to show a close-up here. That's the top of the 2, if that makes sense. I cut beneath the node and then I cut above a different node, the growth point, that red dot. So here I'm trying to make sure that there's either a decent air pocket around it or that there's no moss top touching the top, because that can rot. Hopefully that makes sense, or you can see what I mean. And you don't have to worry about covering the actual growth point, that little node. The leaf will push out just fine. However, I want to keep an eye on it to make sure it's actually growing.
The world keeps turning, but I stand still, caught in the magic, the quiet thrill. In these sweet moments, I find my place in the warmth of the sun with a smile on my face.
So I'm trying to position these to where it'll hold itself up, but also the leaves will actually get sun. I don't want them facing the ground or where the bottom is facing up. I want to make sure that it's actually photosynthesizing. So here I'm holding it in place as I add more and more moss. I don't want to use too small of a jar either, because I could do a smaller jar so I could use less moss. But with these, I don't want to repot them every single week. So I want to make sure that it has a decent amount of moss to grow down into. And there I just tested to see if it was holding firm, and it certainly wasn't. It was about to fall. So I just keep doing that until it holds firm. And if it still doesn't and I run out of space at the top, I'm just gonna take a stake and secure it like that. But I've got it in place. Oops, never mind. I'm gonna add water to this one to help the moss expand and keep it in place. I think I finally got it secured. Everything feels right. I find the magic soft and free. In these sweet moments, just being me. So the top cutting I was telling you about not to cover, it is covered, but it keeps falling. So I'm taking more moss out and I'm gonna plant it deeper And I'm just gonna keep my eye on this one. I wanna make sure that it doesn't rot. And if I have to, I will slowly remove moss after it starts to stabilize itself to help prevent this top from rotting. It's important to be patient. It can be kind of frustrating. I've already tried doing this like 3 times and it keeps falling out, but I think I finally got it. We'll see.
Just the afternoon glow. In this gentle time, I let everything flow. The world keeps turning, but I stand still, caught in the magic, the quiet thrill. In these sweet moments, I find my place, in the warmth of the sun, with a smile on my face.
And again, with pots like this, if you use a mason jar or any type of, I think this was a pasta sauce jar, you want to make sure that you don't leave it in too long, because you don't want the roots going crazy beneath that lip and then having trouble or breaking roots when you pull it out, because that will affect the plant negatively. And here I'm just testing something out. I wasn't sure what it would actually do, but I was taking some of that sap that's on the stem and I'm putting it on top of that cutting to see if it'll help prevent it from rotting.
Sugar falls in, I stir it slow, let the calm begin. In these quiet hours I feel at ease, life's little magic in moments like these.
I also want to mention, when I pot these up, I don't add any type of slow release fertilizer. Also don't fertilize it initially. I just add plain tap water. I do recommend fertilizing it after a week or 2, or once the water starts to dry out, whenever you next water it. And I add an organic fertilizer. I use my banana tea, so that's why I don't really have an issue with doing it. It seems to promote growth on every plant I use it on. Plants that aren't flowering will start to flower. Plants that haven't grown in a while start shooting off 2 or 3 new growths. I think it's really good to help stimulate growth, and my cuttings seem to like it as well. So this came out again. I'm planting it as deep as I can, and I'm just gonna keep an eye on it.
Everything feels right. I find the magic soft and free. In these sweet moments, just being me. In these sweet moments, life feels new. And all I need is right here too.
So I'm watering these 2/3 of the way up. I did miss a little, but 2/3 of the way up. And then I'm gonna let the moss try to absorb some of that before removing it. I'm gonna do that for all of them. I wish I did a time lapse or something and came back and showed what it looked like after. A lot of these I didn't have to pour any water out because the way that the top third of the moss was drying and then absorbed it. The water left was in the reservoir in the leca beneath the moss. I didn't have to worry about it potentially rotting or just sitting in water for too long. It helped equal it out pretty well. And that's pretty much it for the rest of this video. If after you add your water and the moss absorbs it, there is water left that's touching the moss, you want to pour that out. And then just put these somewhere with good light and keep an eye out. I love using clear glass, that way I can see the root development. Also, it helps you spot if there's any root rot. And that's it. Got 5 cuttings just like that. And I still have a giant plant in the back with 2 in there. Here you can see the difference between the hydrated moss and the dry moss on top. And you can really see the stripes when I have the flash on. I really like this plant. I think I won it for free, and I really wasn't expecting much from it. I took a bunch of cuttings, 2 of the cuttings survived, and they really thrived outside. And they did really well indoors over the winter as well. I made sure not to overwater it, but even if you water it a little too much, this plant loves water. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned. Part 3 will be up later.
Right here too. No rush, no race, just the afternoon glow. In this gentle time, I let everything flow. The world keeps turning, but I stand still, caught in the magic, the quiet.
If you're local or you know me and you're interested in a plant, let me know. I've got several more cuttings that I'm going to be doing later this year.